Welcome back for our third deck introduction in the Year of the Mammoth, featuring, you never would have guessed it, Taunt Warrior. This archetype has received new kindling for its fire over the last 2 years. At times, it seemed Bloodhoof Brave, Ally Armorsmith, I Know a Guy, and finally Bolster might be enough power to bring the deck to fruition, but to no avail. Finally, Warrior's acquisition of the Warrior Quest Fire Plume's Heart, alongside several new and incredibly powerful taunt minions, the archetype is finally stabilized as a powerful and formidable force in the Mammoth meta. The award for most straightforward archetype to pilot in the Ungoro meta might easily go to Taunt Warrior. Fire Plume's Heart offers an unbelievably powerful, mana-efficient, up-tempo, and flexible win condition that cannot be countered. Even though Ragnaros the Fire Lord has rotated out into the Hall of Fame set, the Sulfurous quest reward allows him to purge by fire from the grave. A few things to note about how powerful the Warrior Quest actually is. Sulfurous is the only quest reward that costs less than 5 mana, and as a 3 mana 4/2 weapon, it's incredibly powerful, and it activates a hero power so strong that it was formerly relegated to a nearly impossible to acquire meme mechanic from Major Domo Executus. Now it comes at the price of a 3 mana weapon that gives you an infinite hero power win condition. If the power of the quest reward itself wasn't enough, the route to completing the quest is inherently mana efficient and face protecting. While dropping 6 bad taunts would make for a difficult game plan, Taunt Warrior has access to an arsenal of incredibly powerful and multifaceted taunt minions. Dirty Rat, Ally Armorsmith, Stonehill Defender, Tar Creeper, Bloodhoof Brave, Direhorned Hatchling, the Curator, and Primordial Drake are all incredibly well statted. Also notice that the mana cost and the card advantage from minions like Defender and Curator offer a blueprint for a nice curve. Unlike taunt minions from the early days of Hearthstone, which were often unplayable because they were static stopgap measures, all of these powerful and curve-efficient taunt minions do something else besides taunt. Dirty Rat and Ally Armorsmith can win games by themselves. The Defender, Hatchling, and Curator all offer resource generation and cycle, while Primordial Drake, Tar Creeper, and Bloodhoof Brave offer incredible resilience to aggro and board-reliant decks. With all of this in mind, you might say that Taunt Warrior is the perfect storm of all things Hearthstone. Powerful and flexible minions, versatile removal, a consistent curve that fuels the deck's other components, and a single card up-tempo win condition that's passively activated as you play out your hand. It's rare for an archetype to have all of these elements, and its place in Tier 1 demonstrates just how effective this deck is. While the archetype is straightforward, as with all things Hearthstone, maximizing a deck's full potential comes in the details. First and foremost, the use of Dirty Rat can have a huge effect on your overall win rate while climbing the ladder. Against Freeze Mage and Quest Rogue, for instance, a well-timed Dirty Rat is usually the easiest way to end the game in your favor. All scenarios are unique, but as a general rule, a Freeze Mage will attempt to draw into its Alexstrasza and Antonidas win conditions, as in not keeping them in the opening hand, and the Quest Rogue will broadcast what card is vital to the 4th and final play for the quest completion. While Dirty Rat is heavily reliant on RNG, it can be managed from a percentage standpoint on both sides of the board. Its usage will make a huge difference in your win rate on ladder with Taunt Warrior. Second, forcing your aggressive opponents to have answers in their hand to get through your taunts is essential. In older styles of Control Warrior, you would use your health total to stall the game and get better value from removal. In Taunt Warrior, apply this mentality, but try to think of your health total as a resource for getting more value from your taunts. Simply dropping Ally Armorsmith because you can is oftentimes the simplest mistake Taunt Warrior players make. Third, realize that because your win condition is infinite, but your minions are not, overdevelopment of the board is oftentimes entirely unnecessary with Taunt Warrior. Obviously, more taunts on the board against the likes of Pirate Warrior and Aggro Hunter are rarely going to be wrong, but adding another taunt to a board just before a Paladin's Equality Consecrate combo can be devastating. Finally, be sure to manage Sulfurous usage diligently. It's obvious, but the new hero power replaces armor up. In some situations, like against the now very damage limited Freeze Mage, or against a Pirate Warrior that's trying to top deck 4 damage, replacing armor up with Sulfurous can be game ending for you. Remember that you can use Armor Up and Die Insect on the same turn if you sequence correctly. And notice that between the weapon itself, your board, removal, and the Die Insect hero power, you're able to manage the highest chance of value removal by sequencing your cards effectively. With an Ungoro meta that now boasts at least 4 different classes that can end the game on turn 5, an anti-aggro deck like Taunt Warrior should be welcomed. There are many ways to tech in different taunt minions for the Taunt Warrior archetype, so be sure to look at the meta snapshot recommendations each week for how to tech appropriately against aggro and control depending on what you're seeing more of. The addition of a Tar Creeper in the right spot can make all the difference in a day's climb on the ladder. We hope you enjoyed this deck introduction on Taunt Warrior. Please leave us a like and join the discussion in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to stay up to speed with all of Tempo Storm's news and Hearthstone content.